Hey everybody, I'm Brandon72Mo. Ever since Rockstar announced that Red Dead Redemption 2 is coming this fall and will include an online component, there has been a growing hum of speculation that DLC for GTA Online will be slowing down and outright ending soon. I want to explain to you why I don't think that's going to happen. Before I get into it, I want to make it clear that everything in this video is just my opinion based on my own best guesses. I do not have any insider knowledge or anything of the sort. I'm basing my opinion purely on my understanding of how gaming businesses work. So, let's get into it. Back in January, a popular GTA Online leaker posted a short blurb on their site explaining why they felt that updates for GTA Online would be getting smaller and then ending soon. In a nutshell, they claim to have contact with Rockstar developers who have shared the information that Import-Export was supposed to be the final update for GTA Online, and that they are out of resources to keep bringing new, big updates to the game. Not only that, but the developers of Rockstar North have allegedly been divided up, leaving a much smaller team in place to continue updates for GTA Online. He states that the only reason updates have continued is because Rockstar's parent company, Take-Two Interactive, doesn't want to lose the revenue that GTA Online generates by way of shark card sales. I can't independently verify any of the claims this leaker has made because they, understandably, have not revealed their sources. That's how leaks work. If you reveal who leaked the information to you, then they're not going to share insider information with you anymore. But that does create a bit of a problem, because without the ability for other people to independently verify a claim, there is no way possible to classify the information as anything other than hearsay. Of course, there are less scrupulous people on YouTube who have been more than happy to take that 389-word post and create dozens of videos declaring that updates for GTA Online are ending this year. Why do they do that? Because they're clickbait bullshit YouTubers. That's why. I've already had my say about such scum in the past, and you can check out that video by clicking on the card on your screen. But anyway, the last point about Take-Two Interactive not wanting to abandon a revenue stream like GTA Online is the main reason that I do not believe that updates are going to completely stop when Red Dead Redemption 2 is released. Take-Two, like any other publicly traded company, has only one interest: keeping their stock price as high as possible to keep shareholders happy. And Take-Two has done that in spades. I spend a lot of time on financial news sites, and I see Take-Two Interactive pop up repeatedly as a good addition to an investment portfolio. The articles often cite recent and upcoming releases such as Civilization or Red Dead Redemption and other Take-Two intellectual properties as examples of why this is a good investment. But they also, almost without fail, mention GTA Online and the free DLC that drives hundreds of millions of dollars worth of shark card sales. Many of these articles not only point to past revenue from shark card sales, but they too cite unnamed sources from within Take-Two that have indicated that they are planning on having that revenue on their balance sheet for many quarters to come. To translate that out of business speak and into gamer English, that means people within Take-Two have indicated that more content is coming for GTA Online, which in turn means Take-Two is expected to keep raking in hundreds of millions of dollars from shark card sales. Now, I know that this is no different than the same problem I have with the leaker who claims to be in contact with Rockstar developers. These financial news writers are referencing sources within Take-Two that they, again, understandably, cannot name. So, we're left with two different outlooks on GTA Online DLC from two or more different sources within Rockstar and Take-Two. So, which one do we believe? And which one is more credible? I mean absolutely no disrespect to any developer with what I'm about to say, because, well, it's developers who make the awesome games that I love to play. But, even still, a developer is a mere employee in any game studio, and unless they work for a really small studio, they're also pretty far removed from the day-to-day financial decisions that keep the company running. With a company as big as Take-Two, developers within Rockstar Games are definitely very far down the totem pole when it comes to the finances of the company. There are multiple layers of management above those developers who hand down orders that the developers must follow if they hope to continue getting a paycheck. So, the leaker that I've mentioned in this video is getting their information from people who do not make decisions that keep the company running. The financial news sites, however, tend to speak to executives who are much, much higher up the corporate ladder. That is, they're speaking to the people who do make the decisions that keep the company running. So, back to my question of which outlook do we trust when it comes to future updates for GTA Online? For me, I'm going to go with the people who have sources near the top of the corporate ladder instead of the person who has sources near the bottom of the ladder. I mean, okay, let's look at it this way. Who would you trust to know the future plans of McDonald's? The guy working the grill at the location in your town? Or Lucy Brady, the vice president of McDonald's for corporate strategy and business development? I think the answer is pretty obvious. And as much as it may ruffle some feathers, the developers at Rockstar North have more in common with the guy who makes your burger at McDonald's than they do with anyone in the executive chain of command within Take-Two Interactive. Now, that's not to say that the developers that the leaker claims to have spoken to are incorrect. Most major games do launch with a complete roadmap of all future DLC already in place. When GTA 5 was released, I'm sure the Import-Export DLC was, at that time, the final piece of DLC that Rockstar had planned. But as the leaker himself points out, the executives within Take-Two realized that the DLC for GTA Online was a cash cow, and they sent down the orders to developers for more content so they could keep on milking that cow. Having personally worked within management of several multinational corporations, I have firsthand experience to tell me that corporate executives aren't always exactly in touch with the day-to-day realities of the orders that they issue for those lower down the corporate ladder. These executives are always focused on getting the most revenue possible so they can maximize profits and boost the stock prices of their company. So when a game developer complains that they're out of resources, I'm sure that's true. It is not uncommon for a development team to be reassigned to other games within a studio right around the time that a game launches. A much smaller core team is left in place to deal with maintaining the game through bug fixes and adding additional content, while everyone else goes on to begin work on future title releases. Because of this, I'm not surprised to hear that a Rockstar developer may have complained that they're working with only a quarter of the team that originally worked on GTA 5 and GTA Online. And I'm also fairly confident that unless this particular person is working their very first job ever, they also realize that this is simply how game studios operate. And when it comes to actual resources within the game itself, well, there's only so much content you can pack into any game before you reach the limit. Granted, GTA 5 has an excellent, robust game engine, but it is beginning to show its age. You need to only look at the endless releases of adversary modes that reuse props, locations, outfits, and game mechanics to realize that there isn't a lot more that can be done with GTA Online. Sure, they can try to cram in a ton of new features and game modes, but every time you start adding more code to a game, you run a greater risk of breaking things that were previously working fine. The recent car handling bug that was highlighted with the release of the Infernus Classic is a perfect example of this. So a game developer has to find a balance. As time marches forward, they become more and more limited by what they can add to a game because the risk of breaking something that was previously working becomes greater and greater over time. Rockstar developers are also confined by the limited hardware capabilities of consoles. Now on PC, you can buy a new CPU, add more RAM, or just get the latest graphics card. But on consoles, the hardware is locked in and cannot be upgraded. So, a developer has to work within that closed hardware environment and ensure that their game can continue to run on that same hardware with each update. And by the way, this is why PC gaming is better than console gaming, but that's a topic for a different video. All of this means we probably will see smaller updates in terms of how much actual new gameplay can be introduced into GTA Online. The one thing I haven't talked about yet is how the release of Red Dead Redemption 2 will impact future updates for GTA Online. I'm sure that everybody that's working on that game, along with the corporate executives within Take-Two, all have very high hopes that Red Dead Redemption 2 is going to be just as successful as GTA 5 and GTA Online have been. I'm sure that they have a team of very smart, highly paid people who have spent untold hours analyzing exactly what it is about GTA that resulted in billions of dollars of revenue. They're taking that information and they're adapting it to the setting of Red Dead Redemption 2, and they do hope to repeat that success. And it might work. Then again, it might not. For years now, I followed the gaming industry as both a gamer and as someone keenly interested in the world of business. Time and time again, we see game studios put all of their best efforts into a beloved franchise only to see it absolutely flop when a new edition of that franchise is released. Sometimes game studios just get it wrong. Professional gamer journalists give poor reviews, gamers are unhappy, and sales of the games fail to live up to corporate expectations. Even studios like Rockstar, under the direction of Take-Two, who usually get it right, well, even they can make mistakes. As much as I personally love L.A. Noire, it was pretty much a flop for the company. It didn't sell well, and it had lukewarm reception from gamers. And I'm sure that they've learned from those mistakes, but there is absolutely no guarantee that Red Dead Redemption 2 and its online gameplay will be the same smash hit for Rockstar and Take-Two that GTA has been. And that brings us back full circle to the corporate executives in their singular mission to keep stock prices as high as possible. I cannot imagine any scenario within Take-Two in which corporate executives would have signed off on a roadmap for releases which abandons a reliable, steady revenue stream like GTA Online Shark Cards in exchange for the hopes and dreams that they might be able to repeat their success. Companies don't run on hopes and dreams. Instead, they run on a drive to keep their stock prices high, which in turn keeps their shareholders happy. Any game developer or publisher can see their fortunes change overnight with just one really bad flop. There's no way that Take-Two is going to take that risk. Instead, they're going to continue to demand that Rockstar developers keep pumping out updates for GTA Online until they can see how well Red Dead Redemption 2 is performing. Now, if Red Dead Redemption 2 is able to repeat the success of GTA, then we probably will see a massive shift in the regularity of new content for GTA Online. But the release of Red Dead Redemption 2 is still months away, and Take-Two will want to see several quarters of consistent revenue from that game before they'll consider pulling the plug on GTA Online. So to wrap it up, I have no doubt that developers within Rockstar are facing growing challenges to continue adding new content to an aging game like GTA. But the upcoming release of Red Dead Redemption 2 should not cause worry among GTA Online players because, in my opinion, we will continue to receive new content until Take-Two is certain that they can rely on other sources to generate the same amount of revenue that GTA Online has driven. I know this video has been a lot different than what I usually upload. I also know it's full of a lot of the business side of game development that isn't often found on a gaming channel. But if you enjoyed this video, or at least found it educational, please hit that like button and get subscribed if you haven't already. And leave a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on the future of updates for GTA Online. I'm Brandon72Mo, and I'll see you in the next video.